Now, this is going to take quite long to do. Welcome to the family with
Andy Brent Bernard.
Nana and Alex are both coming back from a dance competition that Fawny was in Orlando. So just Andy and me, but there's a billion things to talk about here. I mean,
A few things have happened.
Yeah, no question about that. Death comes in threes is the headline here, ladies and gentlemen.
Richard Simmons, The Shining Lady, and who else was it?
Okay, and I'll read it right here for you, as a matter of fact. Richard Simmons passed away on Saturday, which was a day after his 76th birthday. His rep says he celebrated it the day before. There's no word on the cause of death. Richard's brother, Lenny, said, quote, "I don't want people to be sad about my brother. I want them to remember him for the genuine joy and love he brought to people's lives. He truly cared about people. He called, wrote, and emailed thousands of people throughout his career to offer help. So don't be sad. Celebrate his life." Simmons became a talk show staple thanks to the message of fitness, healthy eating, and positivity. He also had his own talk show, The Richard Simmons Show, from 1980 to 1984. And, of course, there was workout videos, most notably 1988's Sweatin' to the Oldies. I remember that.
Yep.
Simmons, I did see. I forgot about this. I did know about it, but Simmons was an obese child, but he turned his life around at 16 years old when someone left a note in his car that said, "Dear Richard, you're very funny, but fat people die young. Please don't die." Simmons had been out of the public eye for years, but in recent months, he upped his social media presence, including a message in March saying, quote, "I have some news to tell you. Please don't be sad. I am dying." So he posted that in March?
Yeah, he had skin cancer. I'm guessing it was probably stage 4 melanoma to declare himself dying and then be dead 3 months later.
So he just didn't get it treated in time? Is that because skin cancer doesn't usually kill people, does it?
Melanoma, if it spreads, it's very, very aggressive.
Well, that's true.
So if you're not paying attention or you don't know what to look for, or some people just, they're in denial. They're like, oh, it's just normal.
I guess that's true. It'll be interesting to see if Pauly Shore goes through with the biopic that he's been planning, which Richard did not want him to make. In an Instagram tribute, Pauly said, quote, "I hope you're at peace and twinkling up in the heavens. They broke the dolphin shorts when they made you." What does that mean?
Dolphin shorts?
They broke the dolphin shorts.
I'm guessing. Oh, yeah. Dolphin shorts are a specific style of shorts worn for athletics.
I never even heard of them.
I haven't either, but I'm guessing Richard Simmons wore them.
Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace. I always liked him. In a couple of minutes, Andy said we have an interview. Thanks to Joe. I sent an interview. I was talking to Richard Simmons. Does it say what year it's from?
Does it? Let's see. Joe and Charlie, by the way.
Oh, Charlie sent it too. Thank you, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Charlie. Absolutely.
I don't see when it is from.
Well, we'll get to it at some point. I want to just cover a couple more topics, and I do want to listen to that interview because I interviewed him a few times, so it's going to be interesting which interview. Did they both send the exact same interview?
Well, Joe found it, and then Charlie extracted it, and then sent it to me. And
okay, so that's the way the whole deal worked. Well, thank you, fellas, for doing that.
Looks like it might have been from '96.
No, okay.
There's two of them actually. I see on. I've got the whole set of all these. Yeah, and there's two of them. One from '99 and one from '96. It appears they're both from best of albums.
You know what I hate about that?
What?
You say 1996, then you go, that was almost 30 years ago.
Yep, it sure was.
God, I can't believe that was almost 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But, we got to cover it. We'll get to those. So both are about 3 minutes long.
Yeah, the ones I have are about 2.5. The one I was sent was 2:56.
Yeah, so we can play them both at different parts of the show. You think?
I don't see why not.
Okay, we'll get that done. Here's the latest on the Donald Trump assassination attempt. We're hearing from a lot of people, different stories about this. I really hope that we do focus. We've been talking about this on this show for a long, long time. And on the Tom Bernard Morning Show, been talking about it for a year and a half. We cannot allow extreme political positions where you actually want to do harm to someone.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sick to death of it. It's happened to me a couple of times, and I hated it. It was, you know what you're saying is a flat out goddamn lie, but you just have to hurt someone you don't agree with, and why you want to be like that, I will never understand. Let someone else who lived a different life live their lives, right? Live your life. They can live their life. That's good, isn't it? So obviously you've heard by now. What'd you say, Andy? Sorry about that.
You would think.
Yeah, you would think. Obviously, you've heard by now that someone tried to assassinate Donald Trump during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, which is part of the greater Pittsburgh area. Here's a quick rundown of where we are now. Trump is fine after a bullet pierced the top part of his right ear, but one man was killed and 2 others critically wounded. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said, "Truth Social, that's
his Twitter, and I didn't know it was still around." Truth Social.
Yeah, okay.
Apparently it's but it's Donald Trump's version of Twitter.
Okay. Trump said, quote, "I knew immediately that something was wrong when I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place." In an interview last night, he said he has rewritten a speech he will give this week at a Republican National Convention because he considers this, quote, "a chance to bring the whole country, even the whole world together." I'm glad to hear that. We need to stop with this hatred. We didn't live the same lives. We're not the same people. Stop trying to harm people because they don't agree with you. They lived a different life. How do you know? Are you that stupid?
There's a lot of people who genuinely believe the rhetoric that Trump is going to put all the gays and blacks in prison.
Oh, good God.
Gas them all.
Come on.
A lot of people believe that.
Oh, it's really brilliant. So they are that stupid.
Yep.
First of all, is there one person in the world, president or not, that could do something like that?
No, they're not allowed to just do that. And also, He was already president. He didn't do that.
No.
So if he wanted to do that, why didn't he do it in the first place? It doesn't make any sense.
See, that just tells me this is going to be a major problem, because if they're that stupid to believe something like that, what are we going to do about it? They're just too damn dumb to realize it's not going to happen.
Yeah, as long as the TV keeps saying it, they'll keep believing it. So blame the people who are putting that idea in their heads.
I guess.
Because there's always going to be dumb people who just, they believe what they're told. So you really have to go after the people who are doing the telling. Yeah. It's their fault, ultimately. It's like, if a person is dumb, it's not their fault. It's just how
you're right.
Born.
You're absolutely right. There's no question about it.
It's like, if it's kind of like how if you allow your toddler to drink poison, that's not on your toddler, it's on you.
Right. No, that's exactly right. Melania Trump tweeted, quote, "When I watched that violent bullet strike my husband, Donald, I realized my life and Barron's life were on the brink of a devastating change." Yeah, didn't they say like a half an inch closer it would have gone through his head instead of his ear?
Well, yeah, I mean, it hit his ear, and ears aren't very big.
Well, they are not.
So yeah, if he had turned his head at just the wrong time, or if it had been, even 1 inch, it would have shattered his skull and probably killed him.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So he came very, very close to being killed.
Indeed. She also called Donald, quote, "the generous and caring man who I have been through the best of times and the worst of times with. As for the shooter, here's what we know. His name was Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was 20 years old, from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, an hour south of Butler. He was killed by a Secret Service sniper." Wait a minute. Here are 2 recent photos. I don't see a photo of some guy shot in the head.
I don't think they mean that recent.
Well, let me see. It's on X. That's where these things are. Oh, God, he looks like he's about 12 years old, for Christ's sake.
Well, yeah, he was a young kid. They're the easiest to radicalize.
Yeah, that is very true. That's so sad. He just looks like he does. He looks like he's about 12 years old. He's not, obviously, but he sure as hell looks like it. I don't know. What could possibly get anybody to go that far down the road to wanting to kill somebody for their political beliefs?
Well, like I said, he believed that Trump was the next Hitler and he was saving the world.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you ask the average person, would you go back in time and kill Hitler? They're going to say yes. And now you have everyone saying that Trump is Hitler. So you're basically telling them to kill Trump.
How was he Hitler? Did he round up the Jews? No, he didn't, as a matter of fact.
Well, like I said, people are too dumb to critically think about it.
Now, see, people are arguing this point with me. It says that Crooks was working as a dietary aide at a nursing home, was a member of a local gun club at the time of the shooting. He was wearing a T-shirt from a gun-related YouTube channel called Demolition Ranch. He was a registered Republican, but had previously given a $15 donation to a left-leaning organization. Now, some people saying that's not true, but every time I've tried to look it up, and every article says it is true.
Yes, it is true.
So why do they keep saying that, no, he didn't give a $15 donation to the Democratic Party?
Because both sides are currently very desperate to not have this guy on their side.
Yeah,
because whoever's side this guy was on is going to lose the election.
Yeah,
almost certainly.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Authorities have raided his home, but there's no word yet on a motive for the shooting. So how did he do it? Crooks was able to climb the roof of a building about only 164 yards from where Trump was speaking with an AR-15. That's a very violent gun, isn't it?
Well, I mean, all guns are more or less equally violent unless you want to get into like anti-materiel.
Yeah.
But good luck getting one of those.
It seems crazy that law enforcement didn't notice him. Well, because other people did notice him, but law enforcement didn't. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's very strange how this happened.
Yeah, I mean, the other people did see him up there, but for some reason, law enforcement did not. I don't understand this at all. One guy interviewed by BBC said that he and other spectators saw Crooks climb the building with his rifle, tried to alert police, but he was still able to fire off several rounds. The sheriff of Butler County says one local police officer was hoisted on the shoulders of another to look onto the roof, but he dropped back down after Crooks pointed the rifle at him. That's when Crooks started shooting. Once the Secret Service did respond, though, the witness said they, quote, blew his head off. The gun was registered to Crooks' father. The police found explosives in his car and his home. Yeah, it's not sounding too good. There's video of Crooks on top of the building getting some shots off. So there's actual video of him shooting. I just, honest to God, unbelievable. So to wrap it up, former President Donald Trump was shot in the ear in an apparent assassination attempt Saturday evening. He was holding a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. During his speech, shots could be heard. One of them grazed Trump's ear. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It just, I really wish this would stop. What do you think?
Yeah, well, good luck, I guess, is all I can say. I've been predicting this coming for years.
You can kind of feel it coming, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you're absolutely right about that. It was, I guess, in a way, it was predictable. I do want to cover this. Here's dramatic audio. There's some audio, but I don't want to run the audio because it takes too long to do it. It caught the sounds of Trump being surrounded by Secret Service agents and him deciding to raise his fist in a show of defiance, saying, what did he say again? Fight?
I think so, yes.
I think he said fight. Yeah. A female agent asks, what are we doing? They begin standing Trump back up. Hawkeye's here, whatever that means, the armored vehicle. Oh, there are Hawkeye's here. So that's the armored vehicle they used to exit.
Oh.
Shooters down. Female and male agents confirm the shooter has been taken out. Trump tries to get his shoes back on. One was left on stage, but an agent did get his MAGA hat he was wearing. Trump tells them to wait so he can raise his fist, and then the crowd cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Good God. What a story. A BBC reporter nabbed this interview with Greg Smith, a Trump rally attendee, who said he warned police of a gunman on the roof, but his warnings were ignored. Yeah, I've heard that story several times now. They noticed a guy on the roof. They saw that he had a gun, but they were ignored. Why would you ignore them?
I don't know. We're going to be hearing some very interesting things about this kid in the coming days, I think.
It sure seems like it, doesn't it? The whole thing just is so sad. You just kind of wish that there's nobody on earth I've ever hated anywhere near to even want to hit him in the arm with a baseball bat, for Christ's sake. I mean, I have no interest in doing any of that to anybody. Do you? No, of course you don't.
You're not a radicalized college student.
Is that what this is all about? It's just a radicalized college student?
Or bored upper-class woman in the suburbs.
Yeah, I guess. Do you think there's any way they can get these woke people on the left and the whatever they call the psychopaths on the right? Can we get these people to shut the hell up and stop causing so many problems?
No, that's what they want. Why would they want to stop it?
So they want the problems.
Like I'm saying, this is all stemming from people in mostly the media, but also the government. I mean, all they ever talk about from the Democrat side is how Trump is Hitler and he uses Hitler's language.
I know.
He's dangerous to democracy. And I mean, these are inflammatory words.
Yep. I know that people are saying that he can't do it, but I think the president of the United States can do whatever they want. If they need to change some rules, then they'll change them. I still think that Biden will end up pardoning Trump for that trial he just went to. I know it was a state trial, that I understand, but who's going to argue if he does pardon him? Oh, no, you can't pardon him from that. He just took a bullet to the head or his ear anyway. And yeah, I don't know. It just seems like the right thing to do to me because that trial was all bullshit anyway. Seemed like it.
Well, yeah, of course it was.
So I don't know. It just gets a little weird. Is that a good way to put it? It gets a little weird.
It does get a little weird.
So I don't know. You have all these deaths. Thank God there were not. So the one guy just took a direct hit. That's the guy who died.
I think it was the guy behind Trump. So I don't know. I haven't actually really looked at the diagrams or anything. But from what I understand, yeah, it's basically like it was just like a guy who happened to be in the crossfire.
Isn't that just sad? The guy's there just to attend an event and he ends up dead.
Yep.
That's very, very
if the shooter wanted, that's the other thing that I don't get is why he fired so few shots.
Did he fire 8?
Something like that. But,
yeah.
I mean, if he wanted to just like cause mass chaos and kill a bunch of people, he could have done that.
Yeah.
Or he fired the one shot at Trump and he fired at his head, which is a weird thing to do.
Instead of his chest?
Yes. Every sniper in the world is trained to go for center mass.
For center mass, yeah, that's exactly right.
Because the heads are hard to, I mean, someone turns their head or moves their head or whatever, you're going to miss. And now you're, blown apart by Secret Service agents.
Yeah, and I think part of that is the fact that he probably did aim at his head on purpose just because literally.
He's a moron.
And from what I understand, they're saying they blew his head off.
Yeah, I believe, that is what happened. Jesus. I think they use pretty high power rifles in the Secret Service. Like you get hit by one of those and you're not coming back out of it.
God, just another violent era. I hope that we don't go through, like I said, when I guess the very first one, when JFK was assassinated, I was, 10 years old, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was after my birthday, though. So it was, November 22nd or something like that?
Let's see, November 22nd. Yep.
It was November 22nd. Yeah. So I had just turned, so that was 1963. So I had just turned 12 years old a couple of weeks earlier. I had just turned 12 years old and the president of the United States gets assassinated. And then the rest of the 60s, Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And I mean, they're just person after person. I hope that's not what this is. I hope nobody's going to be motivated to open fire on somebody else because this happened. What do you think? Do you think we'll be able to skate on this one?
I don't know about that.
Jesus.
Pretty much every time one happens, you get a bunch.
There are some people in the world that I don't care for. I really don't hate anybody because I wouldn't waste my energy on hating anyone. And I've certainly never gotten to the point where I hated someone so much I wanted to kill them. Is there something special in your brain that has to happen for you to even do that?
Yes, I believe so. And in this case, I believe what happened was his mom drank a lot of Jägermeister when she was pregnant.
Oh, is that what it was?
Well, he looks not right.
Well, I would agree with that.
See pictures of him. He doesn't look quite correctly formed, I guess I'd say.
It's pretty hard to argue that point with you because he does look like he's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about that. So,
and I mean, those are the people that are easiest to radicalize because, their lives suck. You just tell them this is the reason your life sucks. So if you go take care of it, then everything will be good and they'll believe it.
And again, I will say what I said earlier in the fact that some people claiming this was a hoax. They're still claiming this was a hoax.
People still claim that JFK was a hoax.
That was a hoax too,
That was
it?
a while ago.
That was 1963, November 22nd, 1963.
People
so
think
yeah,
the moon landing was a hoax. Elvis is still alive.
Oh, okay.
Although at this point he'd be quite old, so I don't know.
But I use the example, and I'm glad that you and Alex will never go through this whole situation. And it wasn't like I was, saying it's only happened to me. I mean, 3 members of my family were murdered. A couple of great uncles. I wasn't alive for the one when they found him, both arms, both legs broken, with his head shoved in a snowbank in Anoka. So they drove him out to Anoka to kill him. Now, but I wasn't alive when he was killed. The other 2, I was alive. One was beaten to death with a pipe, and the other one was thrown off a building. And there's no way I can explain to you how, as a little boy, well, I was 13 when Augie was murdered, trying to figure that whole situation out and why this happened, because we loved Augie. Augie was one of our favorite people in the world. I wish you wouldn't make judgment unless you felt what that feels like to hear that somebody in your family's been murdered. They die. That's one thing. It's bad enough when they just die, but then to find out they were murdered, because Augie was murdered at 39 years old. And his dream on this planet was to turn 40, and he never got the chance to do it.
It's a very ironic dream.
It really is. He just wanted to be 40 years old. He thought being 40 was really cool. I don't know. I have no idea. He was like 6'3", very handsome guy. He used to like to tip it way too much. Got to be honest with you about that.
Yeah.
But to this day, I don't know what he did to these horrible people that threw him off the building, but he must have done something pretty damn important.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't know what that feels like. So please don't think that you should have the same reaction as somebody who's actually been through that a few times. Doesn't make me special, but it's not a feeling you're ever going to want to have. I mean, I can't even imagine. Now, to take it one further, I have never experienced this. And of course, I'm very, very happy it never happened. What happened to me was a couple of uncles, or 3 uncles in total, I guess. But to lose a child, I don't know how the hell people ever recover from that, So look at people differently. Not everybody's the same. They've been through different things. Do I think mine was the worst ever? Hell no, because I never went through losing a child. That's got to be, to me, that would be the worst damn thing on earth, I would think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's not great.
No doubt about it. So we do have a Richard Simmons interview.
We do.
We play one here, and then we'll play one to end the show a little bit later on. So whichever one you want to play is fine with me.
I think the one that they sent me is the older one, so we can start with that.
He came in studio a few different times. These are a couple of them. He came in one time wearing a tutu. I don't know if this is one of those or not. But the female ballerina tutus, those little things. Yeah, he was wearing one of those. Really, really nice man. But you could tell by looking in his eyes that something had happened to him. You know how some people just can't get that look out of their eye when they've been hurt badly?
Yep.
He was one of those, no question. But Richard Simmons has died at 76 years old from melanoma, it sounds like.
I would say that's the most probable.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, because I always liked Richard. I hadn't seen him in years, but when I did see him, he was a very nice man. Here's the first 2 interviews with Richard Simmons. Fabulous. Richard, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm following a Fakakta biscuit commercial.
Fakakta?
In my past, I could sit down and I could eat 14. That's when I was 268 pounds.
Yeah, that's probably a little hefty.
Did you call me hefty?
Well, you were hefty at
Hefty is a bag. Fat people do not like terms like hefty.
What should I use? Husky.
Oh, didn't you hate that? Because, see, when I was 8 years old, I was 200 pounds, and I had to go to Sears to the Husky department, which I thought they sold dogs. That's why I wrote this cookbook. I'm worried about you.
I know you are, Richard.
I'm worried, Tom. You don't cook.
I cook. I do cook.
What did you cook? What's the last thing you cooked? Tom?
Now, wait a minute.
Pop-Tarts.
I got it. See, I'm a big pasta cooker. I love pasta.
And to be honest with you, since we have an honest relationship, Tom.
Who loves you more than me, Richard?
And my mother. Remember, I travel. I go.
I
People see my buns. They touch my legs.
Don't bring that up.
Touch me in the morning. I just walk away.
I like it, Richard.
Richard, do you still have cravings for those biscuits and butter?
Yes, I have cravings for Kit Kat bars. I have cravings to sit in someone's couch and find an M&M. and let there be nobody in the room. But my health is more important than those cravings.
Right. Okay, well, what are you going to have for lunch today, Richard?
Lunch today, I'm on a tuna kick.
Tuna's very good. Okay, now what are you going to have for lunch, though?
For lunch, I'm having tuna. Where were you? Come in.
I know,
Papa,
but what do you...
you?
You're just not going to open up a can of tuna and eat that.
Papa, can you hear me? No, I make a tuna melt with fat-free ricotta cheese.
Do you ever have a cocktail ever?
I don't drink.
Yes,
Tom,
sir.
this one is especially for you, Mr. Pop-Tart Breath.
Oh, okay.
Skillet, put on the lead. Rich is gonna make a little Minneapolis bread. I will come see you. I love you all. God bless you, Tom.
God bless you, Richard.
Bye.
We'll talk to you soon. Richard Simmons, ladies and gentlemen. See, you know what's great about guys like that?
He's one of the most calm guys I've ever talked to. I will tell you.
Very low energy.
He was such a nice man. That obviously was on the phone, but he did come in a couple of times as well. And he would come in and do the show, and then he'd go over to KS95 with Nap and Donuts or Nap and Bush or whoever was on at the time. I guess it was Nap and Donuts when Richard was around. But he would go from building to building to building, show to show to show, and put on the same, not the identical performance, but the same vim and vigor of that. He did that for everybody. And it was, what a talent that guy was. It makes me sad that how far does melanoma have to come to get along before it's irretrievable that it's going to kill you?
Not very.
Really? It's not very long.
One of the first places it spreads is the brain.
Really?
Once it's in the brain, you're pretty much done.
You're done.
So yeah, you cannot let melanoma spread. If you suspect melanoma, you go get it looked at, because once it spreads, nothing can help you.
Isn't that just sad? Jesus. Makes me very uncomfortable to think about that kind of deal.
Yeah, I know.
At least we don't live in Crookston. Crookston reels from back-to-back fatal police shootings. What do they mean by back-to-back?
Back-to-back.
I mean, are they literally saying that it happened 2 days in a row or something like that?
Maybe the cops had their backs to each other like an actual.
Yeah, there you go. Actual back-to-back. Few small towns have had 2 or more fatal shootings in the past quarter century. Oh, so it's 25 years. Okay. Much less 45. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is 45 days apart. And it was the same cop who shot both of them.
Oh, well.
Crookston officer who killed a man in homeless shelter ID'd as the same officer who killed a man in May. Police fatally shoot man who charged at officers with a hatchet in Crookston. Every police involved death in Minnesota since. Oh, they went through the whole list of all of them. We're not going to do that. But yeah, I'm sorry, but the guy's coming at you with a hatchet. You don't want to shoot him, but you're going to shoot him, right?
Well, yeah. If someone's coming at you with a hatchet, it's a good shot.
That'd be a very painful way to get smoked, don't you think? Get hit with a hatchet?
Yeah.
Ow.
I would hope it would be quick, but probably not.
There you go. Some political things have changed in the state of Minnesota since last night, as a matter of fact. Taylor Rahm to suspend congressional campaign to work as Trump's senior advisor in Minnesota. Former President Donald Trump makes 2 senior hires in the state as he looks to flip Minnesota in November. Now, that article must have gone out before the shooting yesterday, I'm thinking, because they don't really mention it. But yeah, I mean, do you think, and look, I'm not talking about my personal choice and who I'm going to vote for and this, and you need to do what I do. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But wouldn't you think because of this, that Biden has very little chance of winning?
I would say yes. The election is basically called at this point.
It kind of seems like it now. Some people took the obvious viewpoint, obviously, that they hate Trump so much. I mean, there are people that wish he'd been killed.
Yeah, there's plenty of them.
Which I don't. Why do you wish somebody were killed? Why would you wish that?
Yeah, there's always going to be a percentage of people who are just completely insane.
But once again, are they insane? Are they incredibly stupid?
Well,
are
I
they
think they're
both
dumb because they don't understand that erasing Trump doesn't cause all of their problems to magically go away. They seem to think that if Trump dies, then the bad guys lose, and we all have our hero shot, and then the credits roll at the end. But they don't really think about what happens next, which is ironic because they also seem to believe that every Trump voter is a violent lunatic with a rifle. So it's like, okay, you think that these people are all basically mass murderers just waiting to snap, but you also think it's a good thing to kill their leader. It doesn't make any sense. This behavior is just completely nonsensical.
Yeah, no, there's no question.
Because if they're right, and the average Trump supporter is just itching to kill someone, then if Trump gets shot, it's going to be hundreds of millions of people are going to die. But they're not right, of course, because they're morons. But I just don't understand how they don't see the connection between these two beliefs.
I know. Isn't that pretty amazing that they do not see the connection at all?
Yes, it is.
I don't really understand why that's the case. Boy, there are some interesting stories this morning. My God, I'm just trying to go through some of the very violent ones because here's something that just popped up. Representative Angie Craig says Biden should halt re-election bid. But that was all the way back on July 6th. So why is that in today's paper again?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was 9 days ago that she was talking about that. Representative Angie Craig, like President Joe Biden, a Democrat, said he should make way for a new generation of leaders. Oh, so she was talking about, this is obviously, like I said, 9 days ago. So it's not an ancient story, but I don't know. I just, and look, I'm not saying that he deserves it or whatever. I don't really have an opinion on it, but I just got to believe that Biden's going to have a hell of a time trying to win the presidency for a second time.
Well, he was already so unpopular.
Yeah.
And now after this, it's like, who in their right mind would vote for him? But the primaries are over, right? He can't be primaried anymore. He's in.
I think he's in. It's going to be those two.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is, I really wish that we would not have to deal with things like this. I mean, has there ever been, I have never for 1 second in my life thought about, well, maybe I should kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, normal people just don't think that way, do they?
No, they don't.
Or if they do, they move on about a half a second later, I'm assuming.
Yep. But I mean, even if only, 1 in a million people believes that way.
Yeah.
Then you still got over 300 such people that you can pluck up and say, here's a rifle.
I know.
If you were so inclined.
I have no interest in shooting anyone ever. People have been total pricks to me and harmed me and my family and all the rest of it for no reason whatsoever, but I don't want to kill them. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I never even considered for 1 second killing anybody. I suppose if somebody broke into my house and threatened your mom, I would kill them, but that would be different. That's a different, I'm not planning on taking somebody deep. So that's a whole different argument, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just the whole thing is rather sad. It's one of those deals where the weird thing about it is that it happened. And then I was kind of by myself after I played 9 holes of golf with some, Tim Ivory and a couple of friends. But then I spent the rest of the day by myself, and I was just kind of sitting by myself thinking about all of this. Why this has to happen, why people think I absolutely have to kill this person because it's the right thing to do. How do you get that you're that mentally ill? Is that what this has to be?
I would assume so, yes.
I mean, they're that mentally ill. But this guy was only 20 years old, for Christ's sake. What did he experience in 20 years of living?
Nothing. Oh, apparently the convention is next month for the Democrats.
So
they can still get rid of Biden, and I'm almost positive they will.
Do you think they will get rid of him?
They have to. No one likes him.
Yeah, that's
the only people left who are willing to vote for him are the people who are like, oh, I would vote for a rapist over Trump.
Yeah, that's true.
People who are just like so mired in TDS that they can't think straight.
Yeah,
because Biden he's a bad president, just objectively.
Seems that way.
I wish he was a good president because, it's like you don't wish for the current president to be bad.
No,
because
of course
that
not.
affects you. If he was a great president, then my life would be better. But just, the fact is that he's not good. They could replace him with someone better, but whether they will or not, I'm assuming that they're going to. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to replace him because they see the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
But my worry is that they're going to pick someone even worse.
Like, who would they? I don't even know who they would pick.
I don't pay enough attention to politicians to know who even exists.
I'm trying to think of who you got. Kamala Harris, they've already passed on her.
She's
apparently.
even less popular than Biden somehow.
That's what I understand. She is less popular than he is.
I think polling wise, she is the least popular vice president we have had in either history or recent history.
Really?
Yeah. Extremely unpopular. Well, she's never done one thing that anyone liked.
Yeah.
Or even anyone can you name something she's done?
No.
Because I can name good and bad things about many vice presidents, but it's at least I've heard of them or I'm aware of their existence. You got the Dick Cheney shooting his friend by accident. It's
yeah.
Not a good thing to do, but at least it's something. Whereas Kamala Harris just kind of exists and doesn't do anything at all.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh God, something just popped up on the screen just now. Maybe it's because I said the words. Judge dismisses classified documents case against Trump. So that's already been kicked down
so
the road.
how he brought it into Mar-a-Lago or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's been dismissed. So I still
I'm
think
not
they're going to
surprised.
dismiss the other one. I really do.
Well, they can't dismiss the other one. He's been convicted.
Well, they can dismiss any.
He can appeal it.
They can appeal it, and then they can dismiss it, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they would though, because he'd have to appeal in New York, and New York is still very, very, very far left when it comes to Trump, specifically.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know.
Trump presses on at RNC after assassination attempt. He has told people apparently. Trump tells the news he will make his VP choice today.
That's what I've been told.
You've been told that?
I think by Mike from Blaine.
Oh, from Mike from Blaine. Mike from Blaine. He's only been coming around here for like 20 years.
Let's scroll up.
Nice kid. He was a young kid when he first.
Oh, no, it was Charlie.
Oh, it's Charlotte said that.
But Mike is also here.
Yeah, Mike.
And so is Joe.
Yeah, see.
Got to call out all the chatters.
Yeah, damn right. So will he wait until tonight? It says we'll make a VP choice today, and there are other surprises to come. What if it turns out to be you or me, Andy? Andy Bernard is my vice presidential choice.
I wonder, are you obligated to accept? I'm assuming you can say no.
I would assume, you probably say no.
I wonder, you can't just say you there, random person in the crowd. You're VP now.
Yeah, that would be a bit. So I wonder who he's going to go with. Do you think he's going to go with Ramaswamy or somebody like that? He was talking about Marco Rubio. I know that. The guy from North Dakota, he was talking about him.
Tulsi Gabbard maybe is the only one. Because,
yeah, that would not be a bad choice.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about any of these people to know what a good decision would be.
No, I understand that. There's no question about it. It just, I don't know. I'm just in a weird frame of mind today because it all comes back now. All those that 15-year period from 1963 to 1975, I guess, something like that. Maybe even a little later than that. That was such a depressing time because Kennedy was killed first, then they burned my neighborhood to the ground, and that was in 1967. MLK was shot in 67, correct?
Let's see.
Looking all the way back,
68.
He was shot in 68.
Mm-hmm.
So it was after. God, that's amazing. Because I remember there was a slogan in my neighborhood. When they burned the neighborhood to the ground, there was a slogan, "You think our actions bad of late? Wait till 1968." Huh? It rhymed and everything.
That does rhyme.
But I remember that. I was 16 years old, and I don't know. It's wearing me out, though. I will tell you this: to sit through another day like this. There's a guy who tried to protect his kid who's dead.
Yep.
2 other people are very seriously injured. I hope we don't lose either one or both of them. That would be good. There's a 20-year-old guy who's they apparently blew his head off. Did you know that?
Well, I'm assuming they probably replaced most of his body mass with bullets. Because that's just what you do.
Yeah, I suppose.
I can't imagine how many snipers just unloaded into him as soon as they identified him as the shooter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's not like a movie or a video game where it's just like, the one clean shot. You shoot until you are 100% sure that guy is not a threat anymore.
Would you look and just check quickly to see if he's made his vice president sure? I assume he'll probably do it early tonight after everybody gets home from work and all that, so more people can watch him do it. You think?
Yes. I'm sure it's going to be probably right after work hours, so he can get the most exposure.
Yeah, that's going to take him. Yeah, that he's looking for exposure. There's no question about that.
It says here he picked Calvin Coolidge.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You're going to have to dig him up. There's no question about it.
Yeah, no, it's he's teasing it, saying it's going to happen.
Something just popped up on my screen here. A portrait of the shooter emerges, quiet, withdrawn, with little political footprint. Quiet and withdrawn teenagers, or he was 20. He had just turned 20.
20, little political footprint. I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Considering he's voted one time in his life.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, I mean, do you think anybody in the family knows why he wanted to kill Trump?
They usually don't.
He just wanted to kill Trump, and I don't know who the hell knows why.
Well, if you look at all the previous attempted assassinations of presidents and the people who did them, I mean, they're generally pretty crazy.
I would have to agree with that. Pretty crazy is a good way to put it. No question about it. But
the guy who killed Lincoln was completely insane.
Yes.
I think he castrated himself.
He did?
Just for the hell of it.
You got to look it up.
Let's see.
I never knew that he castrated him. What was his name again? I forgot.
John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth. There you go. Very good.
Let's see.
He castrated himself.
I could be wrong. I could be thinking of someone else.
Who knows?
Shouldn't defame him.
No, you don't want to defame a guy who killed a president of the United States.
Oh, wait. Boston Corbett, the guy who killed John Wilkes Booth, castrated himself.
Why?
He took a pair of scissors.
Oh, Ooh. Jesus. Ow.
Yeah. Yikes.
I'm going to be worn out by the time this show's over, man. It's very emotional show today.
He was a soldier and a miner who killed John Wilkes Booth, so I guess he's the good guy with the gun in this case. But yeah, he apparently was committed, as you might imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine you cut off your own nuts. You're probably going to be committed.
Yeah. Oh, it's because he was a hat maker. He had Mad Hatter's disease.
Oh, really?
Mercury nitrate. Yep.
So he had, honest to God. So it drove him to a point that he castrated himself.
Yep.
But he didn't die from it, did he?
No. He lived to the ripe old age of 56.
Did his voice get higher after he did it?
That only happens if you do it before puberty.
Oh, I suppose that's true. You
become a castrati.
A castrati?
Or a castrato, I suppose.
Castrato?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been castrated, a castrato?
The castrati were young boys that were castrated in Italy in the past to maintain their childish voice.
Why?
Because they liked the sound of the young boy's voice.
Okay.
So that they could do like the falsettos and all that kind of thing.
So you go through your entire life as a falsetto just because they want so badly they castrate you?
I believe they were paid and treated very well, but still. I don't know if it's really worth the trade-off.
Okay, well, I'll get to this now because we're coming up on it here, and at 30 we're going to wrap it up and play that second bit of audio from Richard Simmons. Really, really good guy. But I have to look at this. Trump assassination attempt, the latest in a string of violence. Well, that's not good news now, is it?
No, that string's been being pulled for quite some time.
Yeah, it really has been for a long time. I don't know. So a guy your age, what do you take away from this, Andy? The fact that this guy wanted to kill the president. Really don't know why he did. He was not a very political person. He had apparently registered as a Republican, and he did, because people are arguing with me saying that he didn't.
Well, he did, but the theory is that he did so because, in order to vote in the primaries, you have to be registered with that party.
Yes.
So if you really hate Trump and want to get rid of him in the primaries, you have to register as a Republican to do so.
Right.
So just because you're registered as a party doesn't mean anything really.
But why don't they tell you that on the national news? Because not one of them said the only reason he may have done that is so he could try to get rid of Trump.
Well, like I said, they don't want him on their side. Everyone's currently playing hot potato with this kid.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Wherever he lands is going to cause a lot of damage.
I suppose it is true, unfortunately, but I don't know. This has been an interesting show. First of all, without Catherine and Alex being here, it's different, but it's a very emotional show because going through all this situation, I don't
even know if they're even aware of what happened.
I haven't heard a word from your mother.
Yeah, they've been constantly busy the past 4 or 5 days.
I think
4, yeah.
What time she get in now? I don't even know.
Late.
Is like 7 or something?
Something like that.
Because, yeah, I've heard different times, but I think now they're talking about 7 o'clock. So I canceled the meeting today because I thought it was going to be during working hours, but now it's going to be later than that. It looks like I have to take Jude. You know how nuts Jude's going to go at the airport?
Yes. You're going to take him to the airport?
Well,
yeah, he's going to go
car.
Insane.
I'm going to keep him in the car and just pull up and get her.
Jude.
So that is that. Okay, you want to wrap things up here? And like I said, it's very emotional. Just the sadness from all of this. The one dead man who was trying to save his child. He is protecting his child, and that's why he took the bullet, which is very, very honorable. There's no question about it. But the whole thing is just so sad, isn't it? People shooting and killing one another.
Well, we haven't had a president or presidential candidate shot at in actually quite some time.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Because for a while there, it was about every 20 years. But then we went 40 years because last time was Reagan.
It was Reagan, yeah.
And that was 40 years ago. Because before that, it was Carter, I think.
What was Carter?
Wasn't he shot at?
No, I don't think. Well, I didn't shot at. I don't know. He was never shot. I know that.
Let's see. List of assassination attempts. Let's see. Presidents wounded. Well, before Reagan, Roosevelt was wounded, but that was quite some time ago. But then, like, actual assassination, I guess it depends on what you define as an assassination attempt. Because they even have one for Biden.
They do?
Sai Varshith Kandula rented a box truck and ran into the White House fence. That's not. That's not really an assassination.
That's not an assassination attempt.
Just loony guy slammed into a fence.
I guess so, but it's just I don't know. It's the whole thing. It just makes me sick. Everybody, first of all, if you hate American politics so much, why don't you move to another country?
There you go.
Go move somewhere where you'll like it. That'd be good, right?
Yeah, but everyone wants to be the main character and defeat the last boss. So
yeah, it's true. All right. Well, we'll close with a Richard Simmons because he was such a nice man. But yeah, it's kind of a sad show today because I just really, really wish that people wouldn't act this way, and then that people would try to deny it ever happened, and it was fixed, and it was bullshit, and it was, why does everybody have to get so emotionally involved? My emotional involvement is sadness that this even happened, right?
Yep.
I just really wish this stuff would stop happening. It's been happening my whole life, and I'm sick to death of it, right? So we'll go out by laughing along with Richard Simmons, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Why is not play?
Ooh, there you go.
It's playing. It's just not playing. Wait, here we go. Okay, I don't actually know if this is the different one. If it's not, I'll swap it in quick. It won't take any time at all.
URS Morning Show. It's become one of our most requested classic interviews. You know why, Richard? You know why, Richard?
Why?
Because you sang to me. That's why.
What did I sing?
You sang, Tommy, can you hear me? Yeah.
Every time I hear your voice, I see your face. I know that you are here. How are y'all doing? Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's to you, Richard.
Now, you going to be nice?
I've always been nice to you. You think I'm some dopey-ass disc jockey? Come on. I mean, we're here.
Everything coming up roses, coming for me.
I love it, Richard.
Tom.
Yes, sir.
Do you go to a gym?
I do, sir.
Terry?
No.
What?
No.
There's some people who go to a gym, and there's some people who do it in their own house. So what I did was I built a house. In the kitchen, we do hot, and hot stuff. In the den, we do Philadelphia freedom and jive talking. And you dance, and you sweat. And
what do you do in the bedroom?
Happy together. What do you do in the bed?
I know. See me loving nobody but Tom for all my life. I know. You don't love me no more.
Now, Rich, we found out this weekend that fidgeters tend to lose weight, and you seem to be rather fidgety.
Why would you say that I'm a fidgety? I feel very focused.
You never sit still. You're jumping around. You're singing. You're dancing.
Is there something wrong with that?
No.
I have a boring guest. Let me get you a boring guest, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Have you been to Minnesota recently? Do you come in the winter?
Minnesota. It's Minnesota. I love the pike. I love. Give me some pike and give me that rice soup.
Wild rice soup.
Give me the Stillwater and let me buy some of the most beautiful artwork in the United States. Then take me to Amit's, the apple farm.
Amit's apple farm.
Let me pick my own apples and make my own juice. Tell me if I don't know Minnesota. I haven't stood there and taken my hat off and thrown it up like Mary Tyler Moore.
We can't figure that out. You'd have to buy a shirt with sleeves, though, if you came this time of the year.
That's right.
When I go there, and I've been there, I just wear my same little uniform, the little tank top, the little shorts, the same thing Michael Jordan wears, except he doesn't put rhinestones on it.
This doesn't say go to hell.
Yeah, he didn't say go to health either. Richard.
Thank you.
All right, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Minnesota.
Every time I hear the same, reminds me how you talking.